Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Divyam Gandhi and this is my first YouTube video. So on this channel, I want to talk about upleveling your life in every way. We are going to talk about embracing who you truly are. We're going to talk about habit development and routines and improving yourself, working on yourself, self-love, mental health, spirituality, and everything that you can think of. Basically, upgrading yourself and upleveling yourself in every way that you can think of. Yeah. So today we'll be talking about 9 myths around habits and routines. So let's get started. Myth number 1. Habits and routines are going to interrupt with my life. They are going to stop me from being spontaneous. This is such a big one, and this is something that even I used to think initially. It used to be a very big thing for me, a very big resistance for me, that adapting new habits or building routines is going to give me a very strict structure, and it is going to be a hindrance in, if I want to go out, if I want to have fun, if I want to make spontaneous plans, it is always going to be in the way. And it became a very big reason for me not to start. And with time and with more research and with more practice, and as slowly I started the journey of habit building and just doing this one step at a time, I realized that the structure actually helps me. Today I was actually watching a video. This is a topic that I have been researching for a while, which is balancing between surrender and discipline. And there's this Venn diagram where there's a circle of surrender, and then there's a circle of discipline, and they intersect, and the intersection of it is where the flow happens. And that is what this is about. When you have a disciplined structure in one part of your life, it doesn't have to be an elaborate one. It can be just a small structure that helps you do the necessity things that you need to do around work, around taking care of yourself. If you have that, then you're free to be as spontaneous as you want during the rest of your day. It doesn't have to be in the morning, it doesn't have to be in the evening, it can be whenever you want. It doesn't have to interrupt with anything, because you decide what you have to do. Like, you decide what suits you. So when you have a structure in a little bit part of your life where you get the necessities done, you are free to do whatever you can. There is no mental burden and mental stress about you have to get this done, you have to get that done. And that sort of dissipates when you actually have routines and habits set in place. You are not constantly worried about what I have to do, when I have to do it. When for the first time I actually organized my habits into routines, I just avoided so much of decision fatigue, and it was so just free mentally. So that's myth number 1. Habits and routines are not going to interrupt with your life. They are actually going to help you live a more spontaneous life, live a more free life. Myth number 2. Copying the routines of successful people is going to make me successful. It's not. It is just not. In fact, it is going to be a very big hindrance when you actually copy the exact routines of successful people. No matter how successful they are, it does not matter. You cannot copy the exact routine of somebody else or the exact things that they do, because people are so different and everybody is different. Whatever works for one person doesn't necessarily work for the other person. You can follow the list of things that that person does. You can take inspiration from their routine, but if you follow the exact thing the exact same way, the time of the waking up, the exact way that they do things, the kind of workout that they follow, it just might not work for you. So take inspiration from routines and habits of successful people, but do not copy them. It is just not going to work for you. In fact, it is actually going to turn out to be counterproductive for you. Copying others is not going to get you to success. Be yourself and just figure out what works for you. Myth number 3. I have to do everything the way it is already defined. This is similar to the last myth that we talked about. People are always telling you this is the right way to do this is the right way to do that, and obviously it works in some cases, but it doesn't always work in the cases of habits and routines. You can listen to all the people telling you you should do this, you should do that, this is the right way, that is the right way, but if it doesn't work for you, it just doesn't work for you. You have to make your habits your own. You have to let your body dictate how and when to do things. So, like for example, people always say that morning is a very good time for meditation. Morning is the best time for meditation. And when I was starting to meditate, and I used to be like, okay, I have to meditate in the morning. And every time I meditated, I fell asleep. And I used to be like, okay, this is an extra nap, and I used to get up so tired. Even if I did it for 5 minutes, I just used to fall asleep, and I got so frustrated with the whole thing that why can't I meditate? Why do I fall asleep? How lazy am I? Like, how much sleep do I need? And it just got me very frustrated with the whole process, and I was like, this is just not working for me. So one day I just decided that okay, this is not working out, so I will do my meditation whenever I feel the most active, whenever I don't feel lazy or sleepy, anytime during the day, when I feel the most active and energetic, that is when I'm going to do my meditation. It doesn't matter if it's in the morning, at least I'm getting something done. That was my mindset when I was doing this. And I did it for a week and a half, and I realized that almost every single day, the time that worked out the best for me was around 4 or 5 in the afternoon. And I used to feel really energetic, and it used to I used to feel great after doing my meditation. The morning thing just didn't work out for me. So you don't have to do everything the certain way. You just make it your own. Let your body decide what is best for you, what works for you right now, and just go with it. Which brings me to myth number 4. You have to wake up early. Now, I know this is almost similar to the third one, but I wanted to make it a different myth. Like, I wanted to discuss it separately because this is a big one. This is something that even I have struggled with. Everybody used to tell me that, waking up early is the best thing and that is the key to success. Just your life is going to become great suddenly as soon as you start waking up early. And this is such a big one. Early morning time, it is a very positive time, it is a very beautiful time, and there's a lot of positivity in the air. But if it doesn't work for you, if you wake up early and you're groggy and you're tired, even after trying to do it for months, if that time is just not your time, then it's not your time. That doesn't mean that you're never going to be successful if you don't wake up early. Some people are just more active at night, me being one of them. For most of my life, I used to sleep around 3 or 4 in the morning. I just felt more active at night and more creative at night. It used to be like sort of my personal space, and it used to be a very quiet time. My most amazing ideas came to me at night. So if waking up early does not work for you, it doesn't work for you. You don't have to force yourself. That is not the key to success. So let your body dictate your sleeping time. Though I would suggest keep the sleeping time and the waking time fixed. You don't have to do it like, it doesn't have to be early in the morning. It can be at 10 a.m. It can even be noon. Just keep your sleeping time and your waking up time fixed so that you can have a proper routine. Because if you have a different time every single day, it sort of disrupts your life. Myth number 5. What used to work for me is always supposed to work for me. Look, we are humans. We are supposed to change with time. And we become so many versions of ourselves over the course of our lives. We are supposed to evolve with every version, and so are our habits and routines. If we are changing as a person, the habits we have need to serve us. They don't need to hold us back. So if we have this mindset that, okay, I have this routine and this is just what I'm supposed to do for the rest of my life, it doesn't work because you change and your habits need to change with you. So as you grow, as seasons change, as you evolve, your habits need to grow. Like, I'll give you an example. For most of the past few years, working out in the morning was what best suited me. I used to feel better and energized when I used to work out in the morning, and in the evening I used to feel very tired. And usually I used to have a late lunch, and it just didn't work out for me. And if I had to go out, I used to feel like this is going to interrupt, and so I used to prefer to work out in the morning. For the past 6 months, I have been feeling very tired in the morning. Like, I prefer to have lazy mornings and a slow morning. And working out, just my body doesn't feel like it has enough energy to work out. So I decided to give my body a chance. And again, I tried and tested for 1.5 week, and my body automatically adjusted to an evening time. I preferred working around 6 or 7 in the evening, and I used to feel so energetic. It used to, like, I had done all my work, and after the workout, I could just relax and sit back, and that's how it worked. So instead of being rigid and beating myself up that this was supposed to be a morning thing, I changed and I allowed my habits to change along with it. That is how it's supposed to work. You're supposed to allow yourself and your growth to dictate how your habits change, because they are there to serve you, not the other way around. Myth number 6: when I start a new habit or routine, I'm supposed to stick with it for a long time. This is actually a very, very bad advice. The idea of sticking with a habit for a long time when you haven't even started with it, it can be it can be very daunting. It becomes a very big hurdle and a resistance, and most people don't even start because of how long of because of the idea of how long they will have to stick with it. So it becomes very counterproductive. So always, whenever you're starting a habit or a new routine, always start small. Set a short timeline, maybe a week. Even if a week feels very difficult to you, or a very long period of time, start with 3 days, then move it up to 5, then move it up to 7. So start small, and you don't have to keep doing it over and over and over again. Review your habits and routines from time to time. Every week or maybe every month, see what is working out for you, what is not working out for you, and change according to that. Even if everything in your routine is working out for you, having the same routine for a long period of time can be very tedious. It can get very boring and very exhausting, and after a point, it just stops serving a purpose. So you need to change it up from time to time, and that change can be as big or as little as you want, and it can be as frequent as you need it to be. So whenever you're starting new habits, start small. Don't take a longer period of time to stick with it. For example, when you're starting a new habit and you're like, I'm going to do this for the rest of the year, you're going to leave it within the first week because it's such a long period of time. There is no feeling of accomplishment. You do it for a few days and you're like, oh my god, I have so many days to go. But when you keep it for a week, you just have 7 days and you're like, okay, I accomplished something. There's a feeling of accomplishment, and that is what makes you go about it even further. Change your routines from time to time because it can get very tedious, and it can lead to a burnout where you don't enjoy anything in your routine. Myth number 7: your morning routine and night routine need to be elaborate and all inclusive. There are so many videos of YouTubers putting up their night routines and morning routines, and it's all so aesthetic and so pretty. And I have binge watched them all, like all of them. Like, when I search morning routines, there are no new videos for me to watch, and it's all fun and it's all glorious and it's all very pretty. But it's not the only way to have a morning routine and a night routine. The purpose of a morning routine is to wake up and get ready for the day. Do things that get you ready and set up for the day. And similarly, the purpose for the night routine is to wind up your day and get relaxed enough to fall asleep. So you don't have to have very elaborate routines to get ready for the day. You can have your routines can be as short as 5 minutes or as long as 3 hours. Like right now, my morning routine is about half an hour. I just wake up, I freshen up, and I just take a cup of hot water and journal sometimes, or maybe listen to an audiobook. That's all I do, and then I just get to work. So your morning routine and night routine doesn't have to be elaborate. You just have to figure out what works for you. What works for you to wake up and get ready for the day, and what works for you to get you relaxed enough to sleep. And that's all your morning routine is supposed to be. Just experiment, have fun with the experience, figure out what works for you, figure out do one thing for a few weeks, see if you're enjoying it. If you're not, switch to something else. Just work it out, have fun with the process. If you're not having fun, you're not doing life right. Myth number 8: routines are supposed to be strict and rigid. I used to think that was so long, and I used to exhaust myself into doing everything the way I had planned, like working out for this much time, meditating for this much time, doing this for this much, working for this much, and time blocking and everything. I used to do all of that. And I used to exhaust myself because not every single day I felt in the mood to be this rigid with myself. We are, let's face it, we are humans. We are emotional people. Our moods vary from day to day. Not every single day we feel the best of ourselves. And our body strength varies every day. Some day we're feeling very tired, some day we're feeling very energetic. So you have to listen to your body. If you push yourself too much into following something that you think that you just have to, you are going to exhaust yourself, and you're going to end up leaving the habit very, very soon. So the more flexible you are with your routine, the easier it is to stick with it in the long run. And it sounds like a very counterintuitive advice, but that's the key. The more flexible you are with your structure, the more you allow yourself to be, allow yourself to feel what you're feeling and act according to that, the more easier it will be for you to stick with it in the long run. Otherwise, you're just going to end up abandoning the whole thing. Myth number 9: self-care is optional. This is something that even I am struggling with right now. Like, this is a very new concept to me. So last year in June, I came across this blog, the blog was about habits and routines and productivity and lifestyle, and it is a blog by Lauren Barrientos, and I really hope I'm not butchering her last name. I used to read her articles a lot, and I came across one of her articles which was about self-care, and she talked about self-care being a very, very essential part of her day. And it felt very odd to me, like why do you need to take out time for self-care every single day? Now, before we talk more about this, let's talk about what self-care means. I think when we hear the word self-care, I think one of the images comes into mind is lighting a candle or face pack and that sort of thing. And that is a part of self-care. It can be a part of your self-care, but that is not what self-care is. That is not just what self-care is. Self-care can be anything. It can be going out, it can be doing nothing, just binging YouTube or binging any TV series, or just literally doing nothing, or going out to your favorite cafe, or playing video games. Whatever decompresses you, whatever de-stresses you, whatever relaxes you, whatever makes you feel connected to yourself, whatever is your me time. It is a way to decompress after a day of work or after a day of socializing, just a way to take care of yourself. And Lauren talks about self-care being such an essential part of her routine, and the term she associates with self-care is non-negotiable. That 1 hour or whatever time you decide to give to self-care is non-negotiable. It can't get cancelled because you got some other plans. That is just an hour that you have to give to yourself. Treat it like a meeting with yourself. You have to give that time to yourself so that you can avoid burnout. Because I think when it comes to self-care, there's a lot of guilt attached. Like, self-care feels like indulging yourself. You feel like, okay, I'm doing nothing, I'm wasting my time, I could be doing something productive in this time. You just have to think of it this way, that every machinery, every piece of equipment, no matter how smooth they're working, they need maintenance time, so that you can oil it up and it can run smoothly again. The same goes for you. You need time to do the maintenance for yourself, so that you can be ready for another day of full of tasks, full of socializing. So when you look at this way, it can be easier to assuage the guilt, because if you can't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anything else. So, these were the 9 myths around habits and routines that we busted today. I would love to hear your suggestions on my first video, so please comment down below and let me know what you thought of it. And if you would like to watch similar content around growth and mindset and up-leveling your life, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching and sticking till the end of the video. Bye.